and welcome to the Content Management System demo. My name is Nicole Cote and I'm a developer here at Cervello. Now before I go into the application itself, I first wanted to show you this page. It was created using our Content Management System application, and as you can see, there are multiple pieces of content on this page. Soon you will see that each piece of content is highly customizable and our application is very user-friendly. When a user logs into Salesforce, they will come into our Content Manager application. Here you notice that there are multiple tabs at the top, but we will focus on the marketing pages as this is where all the pages that are created will be displayed. You do have the ability to create a new page, or you can go and edit an existing page. First, I will show you how to create a new page, so we'll go and click New, and it brings up this Create New Page modal. Now first we will select a site, and I will select Cervello. The status currently defaults to inactive since this page has not been created yet, but you will have the ability to change the status to active when the page is ready to be active on the community. Next we'll put in a URL slug. We will make this a Contact Us page. We'll add a page title. As you notice, the page ID autofills and spaces are replaced with underscores, very similar to when you create custom fields. You have the ability to add an SEO page title and an SEO description. Once everything is all set, we will click Create. You notice the Save Success Toast message. And here we are on the page configuration for the Contact Us. As you can see, the first section is the page details, where you can see all of the information that we just filled in the previous modal. Next is the main layout. This will house all of the main components that you would like to add on a page. And lastly, we have our footer layout section, and this will only house the footer component. In addition to these sections, you have these buttons below. We have a back to page list. If you would like to return to the list view, you do have the ability to delete a page. And when you click on delete page, it will pop up with a delete confirmation modal where you can click on delete to confirm the deletion, or you can click cancel. There is a save button to save the page, and there's also a save and preview. So now I would like to show you that about page that I first showed you at the beginning of this demo. So I click on back to page list, and now I will click on the drop down and click edit for the Cervello about. As you can see, in the main layout, we have 4 components already on the page. Now, if I want to add a new component, I come down here and click on the plus button, and it pops up with the Select Marketing Content modal. As you can see, there are multiple components that have previously been created that we can choose from up in this table. But first, I want to show you how to create a new one. So if you look at the bottom left, there's a Create New button, and I will click on this, and it pops up with our Choose Type modal. As I scroll, you can see that there are quite a number of components that you can create. We do have the ability to search for a specific component if we know which one we want to create. I will search for image and text. Now you see 2 types match my search, but I will create an image and text full background image component. Now if I want to see more information on this component, I click on the info button, scroll down a little, and you can see a larger view of the image of what the component will look like, and a brief description of what this piece of content is. Now if I want to create the content, I will click on the Create button, and this opens up our content creator. Now our content creator is composed of 3 sections. We have the common content, which holds the required fields and association fields, the marketing content flags, and this just determines if our piece of content will be public or not. If it's not public, it will not be displayed on the page. And lastly is the content of the component. So to go back, we will fill out the required fields. So we'll add a content name. When I click out, you notice that content ID is also auto-populated. We will add a description. Now for marketing content flags, because I want this to display on the page, I will check off that it's public. Now let's fill out the content. First section is the copy and styling, so I will add a title, a subtitle. I can choose the text background color. I can either type in a hex value or I can click on this little drop down and it'll pop up with a color picker. I will choose a color from the color picker. Select done. Text color. Top border color. Text location, I can choose if I want the text to be on the left half of the component or the right half. I will choose it to be on the right. Next is images. Now I can upload images. I'll choose this one. Upload a mobile image. Add an image alt text since it's required. And lastly, there is a button section. So when I click on the show button, it will pop up with additional fields that I need to fill out. So there is a button text. We can add a button URL and we can either do a relative URL or an absolute. I will do an absolute URL. Lastly, I will select the button color, the button hover color, and the text hover color. Now, once I am all set with filling out the fields, I do have the ability to save and preview. So I will click Save and Preview. And this pops up with a marketing content preview modal. And as you can see, there's the image that I have uploaded, all the colors that I have selected, cover colors, everything that I have inputted is displayed here. Once I am done looking at the preview, I can click close, and if everything looks good, I can click save. Now you notice at the bottom, this is our image and text full background image that we just created. It is automatically put at the bottom of the page of the main layout section. Now, if I don't want this to be the last component, I can click on this and notice that on the top left corner, additional icons have popped up. The first icon allows me to edit the component, so it'll open up that editor that you just saw. Next, I can move the component up. Following that, I can move the component down. I do have the ability to preview the component. So if I click on that, I can see the component again. I also have the ability to delete a component, and if I would like to delete it, a delete confirmation modal pops up, just wanting to know if I do want to delete it. Instead, I would like to move this component up one, and I think I will move this component down one. Now I would like to add one more component to this page, so I will click on the plus again. And rather than creating a new one, let's go ahead and select one of the previously created components. Now that we do have a search bar, so I'm able to easily search for a particular component that I want to add. Let's search for a customer statement. Now each component has a drop-down with various actions. I can either edit the piece of component and I can also preview it. Otherwise, If I don't need to edit or preview a piece of content, I can select it, press on select content, and it, just like the image and text full background image component, we now see the customer statement component right at the bottom of the page over here in the main layout. Now I would like to move this up 2 so that it lies between the two image and text components. And once that's all set, I will click on Save and Preview because I would like to see what this page now looks like. So I click on Save and Preview. A Preview tab pops up and we can preview this About page. And as I scroll, you can see all of the components that are on this page, including this customer statement that we added and the image and text full background image that we added. Now, once everything looks good, I can close out of this preview and I will come back up to the page details. Up here you can notice that the status is active, so this page is active. However, if this was a new page, it would have defaulted to an inactive status, and in order to display it on the community, we would need to update this status. So we do have the ability to do that. We can click on this pencil icon and it will open up the Edit Page Details modal where I can easily update the status. So you notice that now we have inactive and active, and we can also, update any other details that we would like. Once we're all set, we'll click Save. So once the page has been completely updated and it looks good, we will click Save. Now, once the user is done, they can give the page ID to the admin, and the admin will go into the community builder, create the corresponding page. So here's an About page. They will drag on the page container, and when you click on the page container, there is a design attribute called page ID, and this is where you put the page ID of the page that you created. So here you notice that since this is the About page, I added the Cervello _ about page ID. And once that's all set and everything has been published, the About page that I showed you at the beginning used to look something like this. And now when I refresh the page, the About page now looks like this. And it looks exactly like the page that we created using the content management system. So, some key takeaways from this demo. First, our application is very user-friendly. Second, the content is highly customizable, as you could see from our content creator. Third, you can quickly spin up a full page and insert into the community. And lastly, no change sets or developers are needed. I hope you enjoyed this demo and thank you for watching.